Randy, how important are these games in establishing the culture you want to see from your hockey club in Montreal come October the 1st?
Well, again, it's the first preseason game, and it's a game of first for some of the young players. It's their opportunity to make a first impression, and we're trying to set our team up for the systems and everything we're going to do for opening night.
Still 51 guys in camp. Is this a necessity with 8 games to be played over 13 nights?
In some ways it is, in some ways it isn't. We had a lot of young players that didn't experience that training camp last year with the shortened season, so we felt we'd bring everybody to the big camp.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Budweiser Gardens for tonight's National Hockey League preseason game between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Philadelphia Flyers, proudly presented by Scotiabank, celebrating its 9th anniversary as our official presenter. Representing Scotiabank are Catherine Hall, Small Business Manager for London, accompanied by Patrick Noonan, the Director of Commercial Banking. As part of tonight's game, Global Spectrum Facility Management, along with Scotiabank, are so proud to assist the Boys and Girls Club of London. Representing Global Spectrum Facility Management, we welcome Rich Trella here at Budweiser Gardens. With Rich stands Chris Harvey, CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of London, escorted by 13-year-old Hope Fisher-Lang and 11-year-old Skylar McCarthy. I now call on David Bolin from the Toronto Maple Leafs and Scott Hartnell from the Philadelphia Flyers to join us for a ceremonial puck drop. And once again, hockey fans, we thank Scotiabank, the official presenter of tonight's preseason game, together with Global Spectrum Facility Management in support of the Boys and Girls Club of London, in memory of Elliston Construction founder, Mr. Don Smith. Fans, at this time, we ask that you now please rise and remove your hats for the singing of the American and the Canadian national anthems, to be performed by classical soprano vocalist, jazz and opera songstress, London's own Sonia Gustafsson.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, Canada, native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for
Philadelphia Flyers against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Welcome to the Budweiser Gardens here in London, Ontario. A home game for the Philadelphia Flyers and the proprietors of the polyester pavilions, James Reimer against Steve Mason, the two goaltenders of record here this evening. The referees, Don Van Massenhoven of Strathroy, he's 53. Brian Puckmara down the road from Detroit. Scotty Driscoll of Seaforth and Guelph's Greg Dvorsky are the linesmen. As the Flyers, it's a home game because Comcast runs this beautiful building. And so when the PA announcer said the hometown Philadelphia Flyers, there were a lot of Leaf fans scratching their heads.
Yeah, it didn't sound really that correct, but it's great for the City of London to have this game here tonight. And not only that, it's sold out, of course, and a lot of Leaf fans in this building. Pretty much wall-to-wall, Joe.
Joe Bowen along with Greg Mellon. Paul Hendrick is there as well, and the first look at hybrid icing comes up as Randy Carlyle has got a lot of folks still in camp.
Yeah, and a lot of decisions to make. As he mentioned today, though, a lot of them will be based on contract, and that is one situation that a coach can't do anything about. Randy says it well. They give me the players, and I get paid to coach them, just like Peter Laviolette, the Philadelphia Flyer coach.
The Leafs win the draw. Jesse Blacker at the point with a shot that's wide of the right-handed catching Mason. Centering pass, and unable to get the shot away there was Tyler Biggs. Knocked down in the center ice area there by Mason Raymond, who is a late acquisition by the Maple Leafs, but he has been very impressive, especially with his speed. And the Leafs are maybe a little thin at the wing position, and Mason Raymond may get a pretty good look here. Now it's banked off the glass at center. That caroms to the center ice red line, and Matt Reed will dump it down into the Toronto zone. Into the corner and playing it off the boards is Lyles, and it's launched high and out into the center ice area and down for an icing charge. As going back is another familiar face for Leaf fans, Hal Gill.
Yes, it is, and we've seen a couple examples already of this hybrid icing that they're working on the National Hockey League, at least for the exhibition, and I like it a lot. If the defenseman is first at the hash marks, then they are going to blow the puck down early. If the forward is a tie with the defenseman at the hash marks, then they'll let the play and race for the puck.
Reed plays it around back of the net, played by Hartnell back to the point. Long shot by Gill is blocked in front of the net. Scott Loughton, one of the highly thought of youngsters in this Philadelphia training camp, trying to get it freed up as Reed plays it around back of the net. The centering pass comes back to Gill. His backhand got in front, and it was knocked away in front of the net there by Jesse Blacker. Changes coming for both teams. Early in the first period, this is National Hockey League hockey action in September, and thank goodness.
or that.
McGinn plays it high to center ice, knocked down in the center ice area, and upended there with a bit of a hip check that was rather strange, but Paul Ranger took out a couple of Flyers. Pass into the center ice area. Ranger will go back to restore order, and he drops it back now, and here is Andrew McWilliam dumping it in. Kadri, a number of former London juniors into the action, and Kadri one of them. Nice feed into the slot, and Abbott couldn't get the shot away as he mishandled it. Shen plays it into the opening, tipped there by McGinn, and a long shoot-in is launched wide of the net by Luke Shen, former Leaf defenseman. McWilliam up on the wing, trying to move it out on the boards as Abbott, and a penalty coming here. Rupert was hit with an elbow, and the first penalty of the game is going to go to the Philadelphia Flyers.
And I believe it's going to be Rosehill that's going to go for elbowing. The former Toronto Maple Leaf a little bit too aggressive in his opening shift. And there's not a lot of doubt about this one as he takes a pretty good run there, right of your screen, and the elbow is up.
2:19, the time of the penalty. First power play of the game for the Maple Leafs in either team. And David Bolin got a nice ovation here. Former London junior, and certainly one of the key acquisitions made by Dave Nonis and company. The author of the Stanley Cup winning goal for the Chicago Blackhawks. Mason Raymond shot his right on. And the other Mason, Steve, stopped that. Off a skate is going to carry him out at center. And John Michael Lyles wearing sweater number 26 this year in reference to 24 that he wore a year ago. Starts out. Veteran defenseman carries to center onto the wing. A nice little saucer pass on the wing. It goes for a shot, and Morgan Riley sends that high, and it caroms up into the screen.
Well, somewhat of a busy summer for Dave Nonis and his management team, and 3 strong acquisitions, in my opinion. You get a little sandpaper, you get some veteran presence, and another solid goaltender to help the cause in net. There's much been made about the goaltending situation already in Toronto. What a shock. And I think it's terrific. A 1-2 punch, and in the way the National Hockey League is today, more than ever, as demanding as it is, as close as the parity is, you need 2 players that can play and contribute every night.
Boy, I can think of some great tandems like Bauer and Sawchuk, Walmsley and Millen.
I knew that was going to come right out of your mouth.
Very early.
It didn't take you long, Joe. You're in mid-season 4.
Here's Kadri bringing the power play out for Toronto. Drops it off, and it's launched in by Josh Levo into the corner. Chopped back to the net. Kadri got it freed up. Played around back to the goal by David Brohl. Now back to the blue line it goes. Riley, a quick pass to Ranger. Back to Morgan Riley. To Jesse Blacker, who gets it back to the near side. A pass into the slot. Levo tipped it. Kadri gets it back to the point and unable to keep it in as Blacker.
And we didn't count the signing of Paul Ranger, who was, of course, with the Toronto Marlies last year. Now, what a bonus for the Maple Leafs, as already, just the way he passes the puck, his veteran poise, he's going to be a nice addition to the blue line as well for Toronto.
270 NHL games under his belt. As the pass comes back to McWilliam, he fans on a one-time pass that was trying to find Mason Raymond off to the side of the goal. Raymond gets it in across the line, gets a bit of a jar there as it's played into the corner. And back to retrieve it is Oliver Lauridsen, and now playing it around on the boards, and out come the Flyers as the penalty is expired. Played back into the center ice area. Raymond, they're going to call this offside.
And as for the Philadelphia Flyers, not quite as busy, but of course Vincent Lecavalier, a huge help. He will be in the center ice position. They're saying he's going to be a second center iceman, which he will be behind Giroux. However, you know the kind of numbers he can still put up. I think he's got a lot left. And straight on the blue line, a good puck-moving defenseman that should help their power play.
They're very deep at center ice, and Braden Shen's playing the wing here tonight, and that may be a bit of an audition as far as the Flyers are concerned. They've also got Sean Couturier and Scott Loughton, who is playing center here this evening, is highly thought of as well in the Flyer organization. Pass on the near wing. Devone couldn't get it in over the line, and Brody is up forechecking for Toronto as Andre Mazzaros, the veteran, takes it around back of the Flyer goal. No score. We played 5 minutes. Glad you're along with us here on Leafs TV. The first of 8 preseason games. The pass on the wing and a shot. Deflected wide of the net. Reimer may have got a piece of it. Kept in by Mazzaros. Puck along the boards. Devon unable to get to it. And it's around back of the goal now. And Blocker tries to get it up on the wing and does on the near side. Devon had that go by him. Ronaldo is back playing it around back of the goal. Pass into the slot. Broken up there by Mason Raymond, but he couldn't get around the defenseman. Raymond, of course, the former Vancouver Canuck, and Dave Nonis knows quite a bit about this young man.
We didn't add him to the list, but maybe we're going to have to. He has terrific speed and a competitive player that may help the cause also.
Yeah, he is here on an audition, so he has not signed a contract as yet. The Leafs, of course, with Cody Franson still not into the fold, and there is going to be some cap issue possibly, but right now the Philadelphia Flyers are over the cap. Ronaldo's long shot off the blocking arm of Reimer. Brought out by Colburn on the wing. Just missing a hit there was Tyler Biggs. Brought forward by Nicholas Grossman. He got it ahead, and it's flipped in by Scott Loughton, and into the corner goes the youngster. Played around on the far side. Loughton is drilled there and taken to the ice heavily. Matt Reed around back of the net. McWilliam was the player who delivered the hit. Al Gill keeps it in at the far point. McWilliam stepped into by Loughton. Puck bounces towards the blue line, but not cleared. Loughton in the corner. McWilliam gets another freebie on him, and the puck up on the wing now, and Raymond gets it out at center. Kadri trying to work a 2-on-1 with Levo. Kadri, a nice little play. He's in a goal. Scores! Can't teach that.
He loves to play in this building. Speed and patience. 2 qualities that equal goal. And a nice breakout here by the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Flyers get caught in a 2-on-1, but he just goes right to the middle of the ice, waits, then comes back against the flow on Mason. And a good play off the boards, but he'll just curl and drag this and a little bit more, and Hal Gill overcommits early to Nazem Kadri. The minute he leaves his feet, that allows Kadri to get to the center of the ice and beat the goaltender, Steve Mason, to give the Leafs the 1-0 lead.
Josh Levo did a nice job of going to the net for him and taking the defense as well, but Kadri, with that wonderful patience that goal scorers have an abundance of, opens the scoring.
And for Steve Mason, it's tough because you're going across with him. There's an extra delay. You got to be patient, and you lose your angle a little bit. Kadri was smart enough to go against the flow with his shot and make a perfect shot up over his glove.
Raymond draws one of the assists, and the Maple Leafs have a 1-0 lead. McWilliam draws the other assist for Toronto, and he has the puck now at center ice and shoots it in. Doug Clarkson of the Mimico Clarksons out there on right wing now for the Flyers. Here's a batted pass in front, a shot, scores! Troy Brody in front of the net. He's not known for that.
Going for his fists, but he goes to the net, and some pretty good work down low by the Toronto Maple Leafs on the forecheck off to shoot it. And there's first to the puck. The Toronto Maple Leafs, as they get right in tight, and Gauthier works the puck down low. It tips it out in the front, and then Brody just sneaks in the slot. And that's the first look we've seen at Frederick Gauthier, who did a pretty good job behind the net.
Troy Brody played at Norfolk last year, 6'4" and 220. So where the Leafs are trying to get bigger and more miserable, so will the Toronto Marlies as we get a break in the action here at the Budweiser Gardens. And an icing charge will be brought back down into the Toronto zone on the hybrid icing. Here's a look at Troy Brody, but you're right, Gauthier showed some nice patience behind the net.
Yes, he did on the good forecheck. 141 penalty minutes and 107 NHL games for Troy Brody, so he's known for his fisticuffs, but comes up big there, goes to the net, and gets himself a goal here in exhibition.
So the Leafs with a 2-0 lead. Joey Colburn thrown out of the faceoff circle. Tyler Biggs, 22nd overall pick in 2011, and the shot off the ball went just wide of Reimer, but a penalty is coming here. So the Leafs have jumped to a 2-0 lead, and from London, Ontario, you're watching multi-Canadian Leafs hockey on Leafs TV.
Jesse Blocker in the penalty box. He got caught for high sticking, so the Leafs will have to kill off. Penalty here, and here's Gauthier behind the net. The first good look at the Leafs' first-round pick in the last draft. He does some really great work using his size. He's 6'5". He's got great reach. He ends up with the puck, throws it to the slot, and a real nice play by the youngster to give the Leafs a 2-0 lead.
Hartnell gets it into the corner, now back to the point. Lazzaro's to the near side. It comes, and a wrist shot is wired wide of the goal by Scott Loughton. Laid up along the boards. Here's Hartnell again. Back to Loughton. Back to the point it goes. Mazzaros returns the favor. Loughton with a pass to the other side. Unable to get the shot away. Now to Mazzaros. A shot blocked in front of the net there by Tyler Biggs. And a big save made by Reimer. Loughton in front of the net, and Reimer makes the save.
I think Lott thought he had a goal. I mean, he got it off in a hurry, and Reimer had to get across in a broken play. So he was down a little bit in the butterfly as there's a block initially there by Biggs, and then there is that save coming across. There's the block. The puck ends up right on the stick of Lott. What a save and terrific transition by James Reimer there on that play.
If there was one area that was the biggest improvement in this hockey team a year ago, it was in this aspect of the game, penalty killing. 28th in the league in 11-12, second last year. And Randy Carlyle blocking shots, being physical, good icers.
Winning draws for puck possession.
Yep. Mazzaros to the far side. It will have to maintain itself if the Leafs are going to be an improved team again this year. Back to the point it comes. Mazzaros with it again to the near side. Loughton having difficulties with it, and the Leafs are able to ice the puck as Holland sends it out and down the ice.
And that won't hurt having Bolin to kill penalties as well, Joe, this year.
Paul Hendrick down at ice level with us. A Schen's backhand was steered wide of the net, intended for Hartnell in front of the net. The Flyer power play with LeCavalier and Mark Streit added to it, which it already was very good. Third in the league last year. Should be improved if you can fathom that. They're an area that really has to be improved. Other end of the rink.
Goaltending.
Here's Luke Schenn firing it in off the boards and around to the far side. Pushed down the boards and in there by McGinn.
And will Emery and Mason be able to carry the load for the Philadelphia Flyers and give them some saves, something they didn't get last year very often.
Played high off the glass around back of the goal. Time again trying to get it back to the point, and he does. Poked away there, and here's Mason Raymond pulling away with his speed. Raymond is in a goal. Scores! How are you enjoying the audition so far?
Well, this kid has battled his way through injury, and he's got a lot to prove. And so far, it's early, but he's been doing it. And a terrific play here. He strips the puck, goes in one-on-one, and again over the glove on Mason. That's the second time in this game that they've been able to beat him there. Head up, rolling puck, and he roofs it right up over top of Mason's glove, and Raymond with some impressive speed gives the Leafs a 3-0 lead, and we're not even halfway through the first period. Now we are.
Oh, thank you. The Leafs scored just one shorthanded goal a year ago. And they have a shorthanded goal here in their first exhibition game. Barros plays it into the corner. Trying to dig it out is Holmstrom for the Flyers and gets it up on the wing. And the pass comes back now, and Mazzaros is just going to bank it down into the zone. Going in there after it is Zach Rinaldo, the Mississauga native. Trying to get it back into the corner is Holmstrom. He is ridden off the puck and is hooked up on the wing. And a hit there by the Leafs' Tyler Biggs freed it up to get it down into the Flyer zone. Mazzaros around back of the net. Plays it out into the center ice area. Now brought in over the line and down into the corner it goes. And breaking his stick, or actually having his stick broken for him, is the slash. And that will bring about a penalty.
And the evidence is all over the ice.
And Doug Clarkson is going to get a new piece of hardwood. Or the Leafs will go to the penalty kill for the second time when we return, leading 3-0.
Andrew McWilliam, another Leaf draft pick, played for the University of North Dakota. Here gets caught for slashing. And the Leafs again will have to kill off another penalty.
In the Luke Schenn draft, when he was taken 7th by the Leafs, Andrew McWilliam was taken 188th.
And you have to give the Leaf scouts a lot of credit. And if you look at the way they've rebuilt this team through the draft, they've got a lot of good, solid draft picks, and not all in the first round. I mean, they've been able to spread it out and catch some players in late rounds, which is really a bonus.
Yeah, Greg, they got Carl Gunnarsson that same draft as well.
Played up on the right wing side, hustling after it is Troy Brody. And Brody fighting for possession, and it is cleared over to an open wing, and the Leafs are getting the remainder of their penalty killers changed as Loughton heads to the bench, and here's Schenn bringing it in over the line. Nifty little move there to get around Morgan Riley. Back to the point it comes. Sent in along the board. Schenn curling out with a shot. There's a rebound. Oh, and Reimer got across with the right pad. Made an excellent save.
Bring on the competition is what he's saying, with a good early start for James Reimer here in the first exhibition game.
Passed up on the wing by the Flyers, Schenn, and into the corner it goes. Riley freed it up along back of the net, but unable to get to it in time there with the Leafs to get it out. Schenn to the far side. Long shot is blocked in front of the net. Batted, and it will bounce out at center. And a race for the puck is cleared down into the zone by Josh Lebo. Innisville native playing it around back of the net. Hustles into the corner after it. Braden Schenn to his brother and left there, and now brought out by Nick Cousins. Sue Greyhound product gets it across the line. Clarkson's shot was blocked. Doug Clarkson gets it back to the point. A shot right on. There's a rebound. And it's chipped into the corner then by Paul Ranger. Near side, the penalty is over. Long shot. Scores from the blue line. Nicholas Grossman. I think it went the distance.
And I don't think James Reimer had a peek at this at all, and it may have hit something on the way in.
As the
Leafs are doing a pretty good job killing this penalty in a broken play here. And just as the play is expired, the penalty's expired, there is the goal. And often it doesn't have to be a hard shot. It just has to hit the net and be directed through traffic. And you're right, Joe. That might have been Clarkson. That might have been Clarkson in front, and now we got a battle.
David Brohl and Doug Clarkson. Now taking your helmet off now is an additional penalty. So Brohl trying to throw jabs, Clarkson trying to throw a haymaker. Brohl, a 2011 draft pick. Clarkson spent time with Toledo and Trenton of the East Coast League last year, and so far, not much in the way of landing punches.
Well, the helmets went off, so they will be gone. And they're talking about it, and Brohl takes his helmet off right away, and then Clarkson did as well afterwards.
So Clarkson and Brohl will get fighting majors.
And the official now explaining the rule to Randy Carlyle. An extra 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct will be given to the players as well. So they'll each get 2 extra for removing their helmets.
Oh, 5-7. What the heck's the difference?
Funny one. I get what they're trying to do.
Well, yeah.
And it's the right idea. Whether that stops it or not.
Levo's shot.
They're 0 for 1.
Yep, went wide of the net. Devone gets it back to the point. Slid over on the near side, long shot. Batted away and taken to safety by Jay Rosehill. Rosehill trying to play it out. That was blocked by Kadri, and now it is fed down into the Toronto zone, forcing Lyles back to retrieve it. Lyles around back of the net. Drops it back. Having difficulty was Blacker, but it's played over on the near side. Pass ahead for Kadri. He has one of the 3 Toronto goals. Levo with him, and a long shot to handcuff Mason just a little bit. But it will be handled, and there'll be a face-off coming in the Flyer zone. Clarkson from Grossman and Cousins is the scoring play for Philadelphia.
The Philadelphia Flyers picked up Steve Mason last year. They felt that in Columbus he got buried a little bit and lost his confidence. And they think that with time that they're going to have a darn good goalie in Steve Mason.
He won 4 of his 6 starts with Philadelphia last year, and they get a good one in Emery, who I guess only lost once and won 17 times last season.
Yeah, they're going to take their time with Mason, too. I mean, yeah, they need him to play some games and play some minutes, but they know it's going to take a little bit of time to rebuild his game.
McWilliam fans on the shot because his stick broke. Now he's trying to get a new one as it is batted out at center and launched high, but off the clock. And so it is whistled down, and a face-off coming back in the Flyer zone when we return. Lots of scoring and some fisticuffs in the first period. Well, we have some special news. Gentleman who played a lot with the Toronto Marlboros, a fairly familiar face. Someone named Harry Neal is going to be joining us in our broadcast booth here for many of our Leaf TV games. I'm not really familiar with his work.
No.
Has he been in this industry?
I think he was with you for about 15 years, Joe, and we are absolutely thrilled to have Harry. Of course, he's going into the Hall of Fame this year, and I can't wait to be right beside him again once again, and I know, Joe, you feel the same way.
I sure do. It's going to be a lot of fun. Good to see Harry back in the Toronto area, and we'll have some fun with him. We'll do 7 of our games on Leafs TV, and starting up next Saturday, or Sunday rather, in a Leafs TV home game at the Air Canada Centre.
And Joe, those were his original teeth in that picture.
Yes.
As starting already.
As well as his original hair, which is also important. Down into the corner it goes. Ranger trying to get it away from Hartnell. Place it back up on the wing. And Rupert tries to get it freed up. He has it again on the boards, but can't free it. Hartnell, a shot onto the chest and into the glove of Reimer, and held with 5:13 to play in the period.
I really like the game so far of James Reimer. You couldn't fault him on the goal. He's been steady. His rebound control has been terrific. And you look at his last 3 years as well, and some pretty solid numbers that he has been putting up.
.915 save percentage. He won 19 games, lost 8 and 5 overtime or shootout losses. Yeah, he has been everything as advertised. A shot deflects off Reimer and goes over top of the net. And he's embracing the idea of a little bit of competition here as well, I'm sure. Puck out into the center ice area. Turning with it now is Nick Cousins. A pass up onto the left wing side, pushed in over the line by Cousins, broken up and fed back out into the center ice area by Morgan Rielly. I would think we're going to see a lot of Morgan Rielly in the preseason. And maybe 7 of the 8 games, maybe all 8 games. Here's the youngster weaving his way to center. Dishes it off for Mason Raymond, but Kadri was in a tad bit earlier on the left wing.
Now the pads from the knee up are going to be shorter on James Reimer.
And a lot of other people.
And a lot of other people across the National Hockey League. The one area that goalies used to do was cross their pads over because they were long enough to do that. So there was basically not a 5-hole. And you can see the room there between Reimer's legs. And we're going to see, in my opinion, more 5-hole goals than we've seen in the last number of years, because the top half of the pad won't be able to cross over in front of each other, and therefore there'll be more room.
Joe Colburn with a shot was off the mark. Some goaltenders use that to excess, and that's the reason for the change in the rule.
Kay Whitmore and the whole NHL department have done a terrific job selling the goalies on the fact that they needed to get a little bit smaller for the good of the game. The goalies have bought in, and I think it's just terrific. You don't want to see the goalies hurt, and that's the main thing that Kay Whitmore has worked very hard on to make sure that that won't happen.
Alderson gets the puck in front of the net. The backhand try. Patsy. Rebound. Went through the 5-hole, but out the back door.
And a year ago, that might have just hit the pad.
Ronaldo sends it down into the Toronto zone. However, all the stuff that Kay Whitmore has now deemed illegal, I now own.
You need all the help you can get.
Oh, you kidding me? I need a piece of plywood that's 4x6. Into the slot, a shot, and that was deflected in front of Mason and went wide.
And he signed more autographs on his goal pads than he has in his entire career. Sorry, Kay, I've been waiting to say that all summer.
Yeah, you know, and I played for his dad, and what a treat that was. Kay Whitmore Sr. Here's Kadri sending it off into the corner. Ranger settles it down and steers it around back of the net.
I believe I said that about a former Peterborough Pete.
Yep. There you go. You'll be in a lot of trouble. Off the boards, Kadri in alone. Trying to wait for some time to get someone going to the net, but Levo couldn't catch up with him. Now Josh Levo knocks down a clearing pass, played it back into the corner. Rupert unable to dig it free. Back to Riley, quickly onto the right wing side. Boland is off on the wing, but couldn't get the pass. Riley sends it back. A long shot by Kerbini, and Holzer went wide of the net. Holzer pitches down. Boland gets it back to him. Lots of time to step in, and the shot is into the breadbasket of Mason and held for a face-off. We get some pushing in front of the Flyer goal with 2:19 to play.
The first period of tonight's Leafs TV broadcast from London is brought to you by Purolator. Excitement delivered. Check.
Peter Laviolette is entrusted with the job of getting the Flyers back into the postseason. They missed last year, and most of the blame was targeted at Ilya Bryzgalov. One of the major decisions by the Flyers to buy him out, along with Briere. Well, they made some pretty tough decisions financially. Bryzgalov's going to be cashing their checks for a while, and Mason makes an excellent save there. Breaking in with Spencer Abbott, the Hamilton native. Abbott intercepts the pass. Lyles and Riley. Here's the youngster coming to center. Morgan Riley in across the line, got his head up, takes the shot, and it's going to be steered up into the crowd by the pad of Mason.
A tough period for Steve Mason. Looked at a breakaway. There's been some pretty good chances on him here, and he's let 3 goals in, which is always unsettling when you're trying to get your game going early in the season. But he makes a nice battle save here, stays with it, and that should help his confidence a little bit.
Anthony Stollers will play the second half of the game for the Flyers. He's a big goaltender at 6'6". Played with Nebraska Omaha. Whoa, a collision there between 2 Flyers sends Ronaldo to the ice.
And then here at the end of the year,
came
the
here,
London Knights, Joe.
Part of their Memorial Cup run. There are a lot of London juniors who are playing here at the Budweiser Garden tonight.
Mark Hunter's done a terrific job here in Dale with this franchise.
He sure has. Around back of the net. Of course, getting this building built was instrumental in a lot of things too. And their play has done it. Hal Gill at the point. And there's Reimer getting a piece of that. There's some pushing in front of the goal.
I'll tell you one thing about Mark Hunter. He is always at a minor hockey rink. No matter when I show up at one, there he is. And everybody says, you know, the London Knights, they've got all this money, and they accuse them of all different kinds of things in terms of getting players. I can tell you one thing.
They're not at a loss for hard work.
Mark Hunter works his tail off, and there's a reason why they've had so much success here.
Less than a minute to go in the first period. Reimer getting adjusted. There's a look at some of the retired numbers and the banners hanging here at the Budweiser Gardens that the Hunters have had a big hand in. Dick Hunter, their dad, lived just down the road in Petrolia. We got to see an awful lot of the Hunter family when David and then Dale played in Sudbury, back-to-back almost.
Oh, I forgot that.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
You might have had a few refreshments with Mr. Hunter, I would think. Mr.
Hunter's
Bowen.
arrived. Well, David, of course, was there when Randy Carlisle and Dave Farish were playing. Dale arrived on the scene shortly after that. Troika left. Here's McWilliam into the slot, and the shot by Ranger was off the skate and wide of the goal. Bouncing puck to center ice, and Frederick Gauthier will send it right back into Flyer territory. Shen being chased there, and a hit taken in by Troy Brody. And the Flyers will break it out at center ice with 20 seconds left to go in the period. Rolled into the corner. Ranger trying to get there. The puck goes around back of the net. And Andrew McWilliam got it to the line, but not out. Back of the goal trying to find it is Nick Cousins. Cousins back of the goal again. Cousins goes to the front of the net as it comes to Grossman in the slot. That was stopped, but here's Mazzaros with a shot. That was about 10 feet wide and a penalty coming to Toronto. As the horn goes, the Leafs will be assessed the minor penalty for high sticking in front of the net.
A solid period for James Reimer. Some impressive speed shown by the Toronto Maple Leafs, and they got on the forecheck early, which helped them get an early lead.
So Kadri, Brody, and Raymond score for Toronto. Clarkson, the younger brother, scores for the Flyers. It's 3-1 after 20 minutes of play.
Jelic loses a puck to Strome. Ryan Strome with the puck. Could be, as we were told, the best player in the GTHL. We'll keep an eye on him this afternoon. Now DeCarlo, back to Strome. Back to DeCarlo at the line. He stops it with his skate. Moves in, winds up with a slap shot. That doesn't get through. Rebound, they score. Broll in front of the net. Puts it in, and the Marlies lead it 1-0.
David Broll is indeed the goal scorer. He wears number 9 for Toronto. Dave, we're going to show you your goal here and get you to talk us through it. Maybe you can start. Tell me how it all came together.
Well, Ryan Strome passed it to the point. A guy named Eric right there. He shot it. It hit off me, and then there was a rebound, and I just tipped it in.
How did it feel to score a goal on Air Canada Center Ice?
Really good.
Pretty good?
Yeah.
What are you going to do with the puck?
Shoot and score.
Shoot and score. Thanks, David. Good luck with the rest of the game. Back up to you guys.
That was November 8th, 2003. A decade later, he hasn't changed much. We welcome back David Broll, an articulate young man 10 years ago with Jennifer Millard. What do you remember back from that Major Adam team, the Marlies? They didn't lose much, if any.
Yeah, I think we went the whole year without losing, so it was a good year. It was coached by Ken Strong. It was just a fun time seeing that goal. I was actually watching it 2 weeks ago, then you guys approached me a couple of days ago and said you're going to play it, so I thought it was pretty funny.
Tell me about the first period. You both take the helmets off and go at it. You'll be penalized for 2 minutes each in the next period, trying to make an impact here on the great first impression, I would suspect.
Yeah, there was a lot of penalties that period, so just trying to get the legs under me. And then obviously they had a quick goal there at the end, so just wanted to give the team a little spark and just go from there and hopefully have a better second period.
Before we let you go, how valuable was your time with Sheldon Keefe and the Sioux last year, given all the situations he placed you in?
Yeah, Sheldon, he played me a lot. He was on a power play, penalty kill, and I couldn't say enough good words about Sheldon and Kyle, and you know what, they grew me to a player I am today, and I thank them for that.
Thank you, David. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, Paul.
David Broll, the Toronto Maple Leafs and Leafs TV, and of course TSN and Sportsnet will be busy. The Flyers and Leafs tomorrow night on Sportsnet, Thursday in Ottawa, our nation's capital. TSN with the game as well. Mason Raymond with a shorthanded goal. The Leafs leading at 3-1 after one period of play. You're watching Molson Canadian Leafs hockey from London on Leafs TV. 20 minutes in the books in London. Kadri, Bodie, and Raymond have scored for the Blue and White. They lead the Philadelphia Flyers 3-1 after one period of play. Check out these numbers. And Dave Bolland has been a champion wherever he has played. An All-Ontario Bantam Championship, a Memorial Cup, and a World Junior Championship. But how about 2 Stanley Cups and a Stanley Cup parade in Mimico this summer?
What's your message to all the fans who are waiting for a win next year? We want the same thing next year. What's your
For
message?
sure. That's what you want. Hey, that's whenever we go to camp, that's what we go towards. We're always working towards the Stanley Cup. That's our main goal when you go to work. It's 30 years. So we're striving for that, and that's what we're going to do.
You're in the moment right now, but can you imagine what would happen to this city if you were wearing the other jersey bringing this out here?
I don't know. I'll just have some fun with it today and enjoy it.
It's the second time you've done this, obviously. Is it any different?
It's a little different, but it's to bring it back and have fun with the crowd.
I just want to say thank you to everyone for coming. It's sad leaving Chicago, but happy being a Leaf, and let's have some fun with the Cup. That's all you can say. This is a great event, and it's great to see everybody out here today. We love you!
Dion Phaneuf is entering his 9th season in the National Hockey League. He has won a couple of World Championships for Canada, hopes to go to the Olympics, and eventually one day win a Stanley Cup. Let's hear from the Leaf captain.
Hi, I'm Dion Phaneuf from Edmonton, Alberta. I was drafted 9th overall by the Calgary Flames in 2003. I was acquired by the Toronto Maple Leafs on January 31st, 2010. Last year was a start, but we're obviously not satisfied because what we did last year doesn't really mean anything because we didn't win that ultimate goal of winning a Stanley Cup. So we know that that's a starting point. We did a lot of really good things as a team last year, and I think we grew as a team. But now our goal is to not only be a playoff team, but we want to win, and it's always to win. You want to win a Stanley Cup every training camp. You come in with that goal, but I feel last year we really took some steps as a team in maturing as a group. Over the summer, we added some real good depth to our team with Boland and Clarkson up front, and obviously with Ranger coming in on the back end. He's a guy that's played in the league a lot before, so the guys that we added are really going to help us, and Bernier and Ned is going to come in, and him and Rhymes are going to push each other to, for that number 1 spot. So I think the competition during camp is going to be great, not only in that position, but in every position, and the depth that we added is only going to help. I think that with leadership, it's not just the guys that are wearing letters or the captain. I think everyone in the room leads in their own way, and good teams have leadership groups that are real big. So, and every guy leads in their own way, and every guy, whether they're talkers, whether they're not, I think that's the key to having a good leadership group and good teams.
Back to Phaneuf, closing in on goal shot.
To be honest with you, it flies by, and I've said it a couple of weeks ago when I was asked going into my 9th year. I remember my first training camp and guys saying, make sure you enjoy it. And then when you play halfway through your year, you hear older guys saying, wow, it's flown by. And you don't really sit there and think about it until I'm coming into training camp this year, and then people bring up that I'm going into my 9th year in the NHL. It's been a long time, and you definitely learn a lot. But with experience, you definitely learn day in and day out different things throughout my career, and I'm definitely a different player and a different person than I was when I came in.
It's hard to believe this guy's just 27 years of age, leader and captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Here are the numbers he's put up as a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs since being acquired in late January of 2010. It's been a pretty good 20 minutes of play here in London, a home game for the Philadelphia Flyers as the visiting Toronto Maple Leafs lead it after 1 by a score of 3-1. Wow, Marco. Leafs TV never leaves the rink. TML Talk Game Day Skate returns for yet another year. Tomorrow morning it begins at the Air Canada Centre, 10 o'clock, as we set this game up, the Flyers and Leafs. Molson Canadian Leaf Nation pregame show back on Leafs TV tomorrow night at 6 o'clock.
Welcome back to the Budweiser Gardens and a look at the first period summary. Former London junior Nazem Kadri scoring the opener. Then it was Bodie and Raymond, an unassisted shorthanded breakaway goal. And then Doug Clarkson scoring on a tip-in from Grossman to make it 3-1.
James Reimer with a real solid first period of play as we look at some of his work. 9 shots for the Philadelphia Flyers, but several good chances. I like his rebound control. He had a couple of saves where he had to be strong in his second effort. And here's a broken play here. He makes his best save of the period with his glove.
The Leafs will be a man short to start the second period. As McWilliams in the box for high sticking right at the 20-minute mark. And both Clarkson and Roll are in the box, finishing off what was fighting majors and additional 2-minute minors for disrobing the helmet. So the Leafs a man short to start the period, and Paul Ranger has sent one of those bouncers down on Mason. And the Flyers go back to start their power play out with Andre Mazzaros, the veteran, getting it up on the right wing side. Launched in and in over the line. Here's Hartnell going into the corner. Dragged it along with him. Banks it back to the blue line. Reed to Mazzaros. Mazzaros' wrist shot right on. There's a rebound, and Mazzaros is going to get to it, or will he? No, he won't. Cleared out by Tyler Biggs. 6'3" and 224 is Biggs. He and Lawton know each other quite well from playing with together in Oshawa. Played back to the blue line. A long shot is bouncing. Still in front of the goal. Dug out by the Leafs. Ranger gets it out and down the ice. Who says we're not in mid-season form just yet? Sometimes your mind's working just as fast as mine, Nelsy. Thank you. Played in over the line.
A little correction there, Joe, in the middle of a sentence.
That's all right. We got her going. Played back to the blue line. Played over on the far side by Grossman. A shot right on. And the rebound is cleared off. Grossman to center ice. Gauthier had lost his stick. And now has recovered it. You need a lot of stick if you're Mr. Gauthier at 6'5", 215 pounds. The Leafs have an enormous team as far as height is concerned on the ice here tonight. There's about 4 of them that are over 6'4", 6'3". Shen can't find the top corner on the short side. Back to the blue line. A shot by Luke Shen. Oh, ow. That is Jesse Blacker struggling to get to his feet. And he's staying out there to try and help because he can't get to the bench. Now he'll get there. And a great chance for Cole. Backhand shot stopped there as Josh Levo had a short-handed chance. Gets another crack at it. And it's knocked into the corner. High fives all around for Jesse Blacker. The Leafs led the National Hockey League in blocked shots a year ago. It is something that Randy Carlyle preaches. If you're not willing to do it, we'll find someone else who is.
And as you mentioned in the first period, Joe, that's one of the reasons why the penalty kill was improved.
Flipped up on the wing, but it won't be cleared. Mazzaros keeps it in and around back of the net. Corbinian Holzer is taken down and then bowls over one of the Flyers. The puck remains in the Toronto zone before it is spirited out to center ice by Spencer Abbott. Lyles saucers it over to the near side. Holzer can do not much better than to get it out, but he's done a nice job. Abbott gets it ahead, and Poland's shot is blocked. Ronaldo up on the right side, gets the drop pass, sends it on the left wing for Grossman. A shot right on, scores! Shen's gonna get the goal on the deflection in front of the net.
Well, some pretty good speed by the Philadelphia Flyers in the counterattack as the Leafs lose it just inside the blue line. And that creates the counterattack here. Now the late man doesn't get picked up by Raymond, and he's wide open. He throws it towards the net, and a rebound let out here by Reimer, and it lands right on the stick of Shen. It's a real nice hand-eye coordination by Shen in tight, and he rattles it right off the crossbar. He'll sneak in behind the defense and then push out a little bit as Holzer loses him in front of the net, and Shen with a beautiful goal to get the Flyers back in this game.
Gustafsson with a nice play as Kadri brings it back in over the line. His shot is deflected, and it's grabbed off by Rob Borgson and brought to center ice by Philadelphia. Hip check trying to be thrown there by Andrew McWilliam as the puck rolls in on Reimer and is held, and then some shoving in front of the net. Paul Ranger having a word or two there.
The Philadelphia Flyers feel that Braden Shen can give them a little more offense than he did last year with just 8 goals on the season. And I can tell you that just by watching that last goal, it gives you a little bit of an idea of why they think that. That was a play in tight. He found the puck right away on a stick, bang off the stick, and right off the crossbar and in.
Well, the LA Kings got so much in the deal now that Carter and Richards are together again. But Braden Shen has had just 20 goals since coming to the Flyers with the trade. Now, arguably half a season last year as well, but your point's well made. They expect more offense from him. Hartnell trying to drop it back, going to the net, pass for Hartnell, and it was just tipped wide as Lawton sent it in there on a nice feed. Cleared to center ice.
A real good, solid defensive play by Blocker there. It might have saved a goal.
Lawton couldn't control it. Leafs back in their own zone. Andrew McWilliam gets it ahead, and Luke Shen goes back to retrieve the puck. Up on the near side for Matt Reed. Reed works it in, looks to drop it back, had it swept off his stick. Blocker back into the fray after blocking that shot. Out cleared up on the wing and tipped to the line, but not out. Mazzaro's keeping it alive. Mason Raymond got it freed up, but he couldn't get the puck. And now it's out at center and backhanded in on a delayed offside. Lyle just trying to extricate his stick from the Flyer. He was there for about 30 seconds trying to get
negotiating.
That's right. Couldn't get it unpried from underneath an armpit. Al Raymond sends it into the slot area for David Boland, and he couldn't get a shot away. Boland around back of the net. Colburn unable to help him out, and Braden Shen starts back for Philadelphia. The Leafs will be the Flyers' first regular season matchup. It'll be the second game of a 2-game road trip for the Leafs, who open in Montreal and then go to Philadelphia the next night. Flyers play it back. Hal Gill with a shot, and that just went by. There's a rebound. Scores! Nick Cousins, the Belleville native, has tied the game at 3.
This kid knows where the net is. He was among the leaders in the OHL all last year for the Sioux Greyhounds, and had a big year for that hockey club. And this puck is going to go wide on a giveaway here. The Flyers get puck possession, and they roll it down to the point. And here's the shot that goes wide, and Reimer can't get back in time. And as you see, Nick Cousins, he'll just sneak in the back door there as the puck is wide, but Cousins just eludes his check. And just throws it right in as Riley Morgan loses him a little bit there. And a terrific goal by Cousins to give the game tied up.
Sent in around to the far side. Stepping on the puck there was Gauthier.
I say Riley Morgan instead of Morgan Riley there. I think I did. There's a preseason gaffe there.
First game. I wouldn't worry about it.
I had Ashton Carter yesterday.
How's he doing?
Better than me.
Oh, dear.
Paul Ranger sends it down into the zone. A chip pass in front of the net. No one there to do any damage with it.
I thought I'd start laughing at myself before you did, Joe.
No. I didn't even notice. It shows you how bad I am. Out back of the net. Right ahead at center. Jesse Blacker goes back to retrieve it. Stand on the pass. Able to get it back again. Steps up to the red line. Took a bit of a hit there from Clarkson. And the puck on the far side. And a pass out into the center ice area for Doug Clarkson. He'll get it down into the Toronto zone. Reimer just did get enough glass on that. That looked like it was headed for the screen. Boland across the line with Abbott. Abbott with an ad going to the net, and he couldn't make up the contact there. Heading hard was Ryan Rupert. Here's a pass in front. Boland's shot is right on. There's a rebound. Cleared back to the blue line to Lyles. They'll get it around back to the net. Now sent back by Rupert to the point. Holzer had to wait for a teammate coming over the boards. A pass into the slot. Coming off the bench was Colburn, but he couldn't make contact. Garbini and Holzer going back to retrieve the puck in his own zone. We're approaching 8 minutes played here in period number 2. And they're going to call this icing.
The Flyers with a much better second period of play, as now they're getting their forecheck and their counterattack going a little bit more than they did in period number 1.
So the face-off to the right of James Reimer. It's expected that Anthony Stolarz and Christopher Gibson will play goal in the second half of this game. And I would imagine that will be the same probably tomorrow night, where the goaltending will be split, and then they'll settle things down, I would imagine, between Reimer and Bernier. As a pass, a deflector, a shot deflects off the shoulder of Reimer into the corner.
Yeah, they'll want to get some full games in for both of them. Probably you're right, Joe, after tomorrow night, I would guess.
Marley camp will open midweek, so makes sense. A lot of the youngsters will be down there.
Forward to watching Gibson. He's had a very good prospects camp and rookie camp. And played in the Quebec League last year. He was a high pick of the Los Angeles Kings. They didn't sign him. And a smart move by the Leafs to add some depth and goal, not only up top, but also in the minor league level also.
After a 3-0 Toronto lead, the Flyers have answered with 3 of their own.
A goaltending change for the Philadelphia Flyers. Anthony Stolarz will go into the net. Of course, he plays junior here for the London Knights. Was acquired right at the trade deadline last season by Mark Hunter. He came out of college hockey, and Mark talked him into coming back to major junior, so he will get a warm-up. And I would imagine that he probably won't get the trip back to Philadelphia. He'll probably stay right here and start his last year in junior here in Philadelphia.
Yeah, this is
London, rather.
I'll tell you, Greg, the London Knight team this year might rival the greatness of the London Knight team of 2005 that won the Memorial Cup and hosted right here in this building. We got so many good young players coming back. They'll be good.
Yes, they will. And
here comes Christopher Gibson. They're going to take some time to warm the goaltenders up. Randy Carlisle said, well, you might as well do it here too.
Yeah, get the pucks down there and warm them up. Reimer getting a good cheer for his effort tonight.
Yeah, Chris Gibson, his dad, a black box or kickboxing champion, black belt kickboxing champion from England. Mom from Finland, went to England 1 year, brought his dad back. They eventually got married, of course, and thus the Finnish Gibson. Great kid. He spent 5 years in North America, won a Telus Cup at Notre Dame College in Wilcox, Saskatchewan, and very much at home in North America.
Well, he'll get him. They're going to shoot the water bottle at him, too. If he stops that, he's in.
And as I mentioned, he had a real good prospects camp, and that's when they got him signed right out of that after he played so well in July. And
do you remember your first NHL preseason game where you got to go in? And how nervous you might have been, how butterflies are being handled here by both of these kids.
And you know, you want to just get the first save, and then you're fine. You get going. The nice part for both of them, I think, is that, you know, they're in a junior rink, although it's full and it's still the National Hockey League, but obviously one's very familiar with the rink and the other kid played the Quebec League. So.
Yeah. I guarantee you the game wasn't televised, Greg. The courtroom sketches was there.
They were black and white, Paul.
Played on the boards and down into the zone. Yeah. Millsy's game was on Etch-a-Sketch.
That's the way it looked off him, too.
Here, pass back into the slot, a backhand shot. Scores! Paul Ranger into the rush. And the youngster is greeted with pretty tough chance.
Yeah, and you don't get the save you're looking for, although he did stop the first one. But Ranger has this ability to jump into the play. Now Leafs here push it by the forward right there. Braden Shen comes in, and that creates the 3-on-2. Perfect execution, going to the net, good delay, and when you go to the net, good things happen, and the rebound is tapped in. Goal gets it back, a little give and go. There's the shot, and then Ranger, who joins the attack from the defense, gets rewarded for it as the puck ends up right on his stick on the rebound.
So the Maple Leafs regain the lead. Paul Ranger had 8 goals and 25 points with the Marlies a year ago. Puck still in now, a delayed offside whistle down as Jesse Blacker fought hard on the blue line to try and keep that out. We get some shoving on the far side.
Boys.
Two Mississauga boys.
Jamie Devon, 6'5" and 220. In there looking at things. Frederick Gauthier on the outside. hanging onto a body, but it doesn't look like anything more is going to settle down. Oche's looking down at a lot of people, isn't he?
Tonight's Leafs TV broadcast from London, Ontario is brought to you by Molson Canadian, diehard fan and proud partner of the Maple Leafs.
So Jamie Devon will go to the penalty box.
And I would imagine Ronaldo will as well. I'm not so sure that Ranger won't be a better player, this is going to sound a little different to some, in the National Hockey League than in the American League, because he reads the game so well, and the positional play in the NHL is better, of course, than the younger American Hockey League. And just like that last situation where he was able to read the play and jump in, I think you'll see Ranger much more suited to the NHL game than he was a year ago with the Toronto Marlies. He had a great career in Tampa Bay before some personal reasons put him out of the game for a couple of years.
He's a bit of an X factor, I think, as far as the Leaf defense core is concerned in its depth. And the Whitby native is ready to go.
And Joe could be a top four. He could be a top four at some point during the season. He certainly has that ability and was that in Tampa Bay.
Matt Reed knocked down a clearing attempt. So roughing minors to both players. Hartnell in on the left wing. Pulls up, dishes it back to Reed. Far side with a shot. And a first save made there by Christopher Gibson. Leafs are a man short. Devon gets the only penalty. Down into the corner, Hartnell. This is power play number 4 on the game. And the shot is being deflected up into the screen and out of play. Ranger from Brohl and Levo. The scoring play for Toronto to give them the lead.
Joe Colburn's had a quiet night so far. There's much anticipation that this is the year that he has to show that he belongs to the National Hockey League. Good play there with his stick to knock the puck out of harm's way, but he will be a waiver choice if he doesn't make the team, and that may make the decision a little more difficult for the Maple Leafs to know what to do with him if he has just an okay game.
David Boland brings it to center. He's got Brody with him going to the front of the net. It's a shot on the Tosin. Rebound! And getting over there with the glove hand was Stollers. Pretty good save made there.
Yeah, if you watch his game, like many young goaltenders, he's still at the point where he tends to move a little bit too much around in his net. And he makes a good save there getting back. However, that's a characteristic we see often in young goalies, where he quiet his game down a little bit. He certainly has a ton of talent.
Ranger icing the puck. 50 seconds left in the power play, and we're through half the second period. Toronto with a 4-3 lead. And Braden Shen gets upended by Ryan Rupert. Flyers back in their own zone.
About a 6.5.
Launched into the Toronto end. Going in there after it, Andrew McWilliam. Pass goes off a stick back to the blue line. Settled by Shen, but as he tried to get it over to Gustafsson, it was out over the blue line and into center ice. Left wing side for McGinn. Taken down by Corbinian Holzer. McWilliam looking for some room. Now trying to pin the puck. Got Rupert to play it into an open corner. Levo trying to get there. So is McWilliam. Shen digs it out. Puck along the boards. Still battled for. Played around back of the goal. Coming out with it is McGinn. McGinn takes it to the near boards, but the pass is into the slot, and it'll be cleared off the glass to center ice on a good play by Josh Levo. Former Kitchener Jr., 86th pick overall in the 2011 draft.
Another appealing player that many thought was the best player in the prospects camp, and wasn't too bad in the rookie camp either the last couple of weeks.
Teams are back at full strength. The Leafs lead by a goal midway through period number 2 here in London.
Who would have thought that Ron Hextall would be this methodical, calm general manager, quiet, watching a hockey game, as he's now the assistant general manager of the Philadelphia Flyers, coming over from the Los Angeles Kings organization. And here's a couple of good saves by the youngster as he battles back after letting in, well, the second shot against him in this second period.
In a perfect world, the Flyers would still have Bernie Perrott and Ron Hextall playing goal. because since those two, it has been a revolving door. And Ilya Bryzgalov may be the new doorman of the revolving door. He is gone, although he'll be cashing checks from
I'm going to say he's a
Mr.
very rich doorman.
Yes, he is. Got a nice uniform. Playing around back of the Toronto goal. Rosehill lays it back into the near corner, and Toronto will get to it, banking it to the line, but not out. Grossman shot, juggled in front of the net, and bounced right over Jay Rosehill's stick, and then flattened by Ronaldo, was the Leaf defenseman in front of the net. Back to the point. Grossman, one-timer, a shot. Ow! That's blocked. And then trying to dig it free. Rosehill took that in the chest, and that hurts.
You know, the world of Twitter, Joel, I couldn't remember when you asked me my first exhibition game, but Paul Dunn on Twitter, the world of Twitter, and he reminded me about a game that I played, and I remember it now, in the old Windsor Arena against the Detroit Red Wings, when I was with the Pittsburgh Penguins. You know why I remember that game so much? Because the guy by the name of Bobby Clark, I went chasing out of the net so excited, he took his stick under the chin and started to skate with my face all the way up the ice. Looked at me, I said, "Hey!" He said, "Stay in the net, kid."
Stay in the net, kid. Good advice. Good advice.
Right under my wire mask, and he started to take my head all the way up the ice.
Here's a chance for Spencer Abbott, and the shot went into the near corner.
So thank you to Paul Dunn for reminding me of that lovely moment.
Paul must be very old.
He's done.
He's pretty much done. Up on the wing it goes and played in over the line. Morgan Riley goes back to retrieve it. Holzer plays it ahead, and down into the zone it goes. The Windsor Arena was rather dark. I'm surprised he could see you. Center ice. Paul Ranger loses it. Brought in over the line by Clarkson, and a nice one-on-one play made there by Andrew McWilliam.
He's saying the Red Wings. I don't know why the Flyers were there. Anyway, it doesn't make sense. But I don't make sense often.
No, you were playing for 3 teams at once. Maybe it was a round-robin tournament.
I don't know.
Pass ahead across the line. Here's Raymond trying to get it into the corner, and it's stripped off his stick by Lauritsen, and it is played by the Flyers out at center ice. And it's going to be offside at the blue line as Scott Lawton brought it in. And there'll be a face-off in the center ice zone.
The second period of tonight's Leafs TV broadcast from London is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy.
Any of those recorded? Because if not, you're in mid-season form on those reads.
I've been practicing.
Well, you know what? And all of the yelling and screaming you did on Safari in Africa, I'm surprised you still have a voice.
Running from the Lions, Joe.
Yes, I'll bet you were. Here's an icing charge coming. And again, I'll look at that hybrid icing that they're trying to make sure there aren't any or as many injuries through the course of the season. And I know that there's a guy with a tall collar and some loud jackets who has been campaigning for this for many, many years, and you can't argue with it.
Well, we watched it in the American Hockey League at the start of last year, and I quite liked it. I thought it was a perfect compromise. It'll be interesting to see how the NHL offices like the idea or not like the idea after they test it out here.
Well, and the players have the ultimate decision in it, which I suppose makes sense since they're the ones playing the game, right? Lyles unable to get it out, or I guess he did get it out because it's brought in offside.
And by the way, we do not have the quote-unquote new NHL nets here in an exhibition game tonight. It is an off-site game.
Probably tomorrow night.
But it'll be a nice chance to see them. I'm interested to see. We've already seen a couple of wraparound goals because perhaps a little more room behind the net. So another strong move, I think, by Hockey Ops, and we'll see how it works, but I don't think it can do any harm.
One of the other aspects of it is it's going to be more passing angles to come out from behind the net because you don't have the large kind of hoop, if you will, back of that goal.
And for puck-handling goaltenders, they think they can get behind the net a little quicker. So we'll see.
Oh, there's the other side of it.
There's
always a negative to the
positive. That's a positive.
Oh, is it? Oh.
Well, if you like to watch puck-handling goaltenders, I think it is.
I like to watch the bad ones because then there's going to be a mistake and probably a scoring chance. A hit in there by Troy Brody. 5:36 to go in the second period. One dominated by the Flyers, but the Leafs have regained the lead. Delayed offside, negated as it's brought to center. McWilliam on the left wing with a long shot. A huge rebound off Scholars, but it was corralled by Philadelphia and sent ahead. Rosehill with a pass in, a backhand shot directed wide of the goal off Clarkson's stick. Al Gill looking for the puck back at the point, but it is scrummed along the boards. Now he does get it. Gill trying to send it to the net, had it handed back to him. The big veteran defenseman works to the far side, and the backhand is stopped by Gibson. Rebound in front of the net. Gibson's down, and he's got it. So a good save by young Christopher Gibson. And the Maple Leafs hold a 1-goal lead here in London on Leafs TV.
Well, our producer, Mark Askin, he's in mid-season form. As we look at the difference here between the new nets and the old ones, and there is it doesn't seem like a lot, but believe me, that could change many things. Now, the other thing I like is that the goalposts are angled now as well. That was a Francois Allaire idea years ago that the league has finally adopted, and you never know.
Look at that. The wow in the old net, and more angle to pass the puck out from behind the goal. There's going to be some opportunities because of it, for sure. What we might see, though, because of and I talk about the thinness of the net, is that pucks are going to go in and come out quickly. There's going to be a lot of video replay from people not knowing whether the puck is in the net or not. Abbott.
And even that remains to be seen a little bit.
Yeah.
In theory, though, Joe, you're right.
Yep.
We'll just see if that actually does happen.
We want to thank our friends at Hockey Night in Canada for sharing that video with us. Back to the goal, played around on the boards by Lyles. On the near side, Abbott gets it out at center. Here's Colburn crisscrossing. Rupert takes the drop, passing the pass in front. Colburn couldn't get his stick on it. Hartnell with 4 minutes to play in the second period will launch it in. This is going to bounce in on goal and grabbed off by Morgan Riley. A hard pass at center, and unable to handle it the first time was Biggs, and then he couldn't corral it when he got a second opportunity. Hack, whack, and slash. Biggs back to Colburn into the slot, unable to get a shot away, and Shin takes it to the sideboards and is able to get it out. Holzer is going to knock it right back in again. Joey Colburn into the forecheck now along with Mason Raymond. And out comes Braden Shin to center. He has scored one of the Flyer goals. Along the boards it goes there for Cousins. A turnover, and here's Morgan Riley leading the rush. Kadri into the slot. Toe-drag! Oh, and he launched that just off the post and wide. Backhead in front of the net is cleared to center ice.
Kadri looks good. I don't know if he's trying to put his show on here in his hometown, but when he gets the puck, he's been electric all game long.
Well, his decision to sign the bridge contract and the Leafs saying, hey, play a full season the way you did half a season, things are going to work out for you in the future. Whoa, a hit there. Jesse Blacker stepping into his man.
And you know, Joe, I was a little worried as well that was going to get ugly. And why? Because I've seen so many players. Now, there are exceptions to the rule, but I've seen so many players that are young that have missed training camp, and they just never seem to get back on stride in the course of the season. As we look at Jesse Blacker here.
This is Morgan Riley.
Morgan Riley jumping in, sorry. And there's a great chance by Kadri afterwards. And here's Blacker on Ronaldo. Goodbye on a good solid neutral zone hit. So a good move by Kadri to get signed, and a good move by the Toronto Maple Leafs to make the offer attractive enough that he can sign short term and prove that he deserves a long-term deal.
And that's the tact that Dave Nonis and company have taken with Cody Franson. And Dave Nonis, the general manager, will join us during the second intermission to chat a little bit about the youngsters and how camp has gone.
And even with Cody, at some point, he's got to get playing. And let your play do everything that needs to be done on the ice. Things will work out.
Frederick Gauthier trying a long pass that was knocked out of midair by Holmstrom and sent into the Leaf zone. Yeah, the youngster Gibson out there, but the puck is cleared for him to center ice. And we may get a delay depending on how long this goes. There's a piece of the glass that is broken in behind the Flyer net. With a minute 48 to go, it may be a moot point that can be fixed during the intermission. Gill sends it down into the corner. Bodies go free. It comes back to the blue line. Rosehill filling in at the point. Now it is swept around back to the net. Played to the line. Rosehill is there again. Sent into the corner and cut off. Played around back to the net for Lyles. Lyles gets it up on the wing, and Brody gets it out at center ice. Gauthier is there. As it's launched into the corner, the Leafs will change. And it's 16 to go here in the period. Center ice for Gustafsson, sent in over the line. Deflects past Riley, who will go back for it. Here's young Morgan Riley. He's not very tall, but he's a stocky 210 pounds.
Well, he's very intelligent for his age in terms of which decisions with the puck.
Here's another good decision there as he sends it in around back of the net.
And boy, can he skate.
Centering pass, good save, the rebound. Great opportunity in front of the net there for Rupert. Flyers break it out at center ice. Reed back into the slot. Backhanded by Shen into the slot. It goes in a shot. Steered wide of the net by Gibson. Final 26 seconds to go in the period. Reed has it knocked away by Rupert. And a hand pass is going to be called with 19.2 seconds to go. And whether this is going to be, I think, just overlooked. They'll let it go, the pane of glass that we were talking about. Shots on goal favor the Flyers now 25-20. It was 10-9 Toronto after the first period. So a better period for the Flyers, who scored twice. But the Leafs have regained the lead on Paul Ranger's goal. Shen off the boards to center. Laid up on the right wing side there by Cousins. A block made and a good one by Andrew McWilliam as it's sent into the corner. Back to the point. Shot is blocked and it will go into the corner as the horn goes to end period number 2.
Good pace again to this period. It slowed down a little bit in period number 2, but we were set up for a pretty good-looking third period of play as the Leafs gained the lead once again with a second period goal.
16 shots for the Flyers, 10 for the Leafs. And Toronto, who had a 3-0 lead, now lead 4-3.
40 minutes in the books here in London. Toronto with a 4-3 lead, thanks in part to Paul Ranger's go-ahead goal late in the second period. Morgan Riley joins us. What's been the key to Toronto's ability to get back into this game after a tough start to that second period?
I think we're just trying to keep it simple. I think we were trying to complicate things a little bit there at the start of the period, and that's when we got in trouble. But just got to keep chipping pucks and keep trying to get the puck on net.
Great to see you rush the puck. What skill set does Nazem Kadri bring alongside you that provides you with the ability to get the puck over to him?
Well, he's great with the puck, obviously. You saw his goal in the first there. He made a nice move, and he's got quick hands, but he's also good in his own end, which is always important. So he's playing well, and he's being Naz right now, so it's good.
He is what he is. Thanks for this, Morgan.
All right, thanks.
Morgan Riley of the Maple Leafs. Leafs TV busy tonight. Sportsnet busy later on this week. In fact, tomorrow night at the Air Canada Centre, the Leafs and the Philadelphia Flyers at 7. Then Toronto into Ottawa, our nation's capital, on Thursday, a game you can see on TSN. Paul Ranger with 10 goals back in the 2007-2008 season for Tampa. A big one for the Maple Leafs here tonight in London.
Joe Bowen back here in London along with the general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs, Mr. David Nonis. First off, congratulations on a very good harvest this summer. This team's going to be a lot more miserable to play against, aren't they?
I think we'll be tough to play against. I mean, the additions are guys who work hard. They play hard every night. With Clarkson and Bolin and whoever else may push to make this team. Like some of the younger kids look like they want to try to push forward as well. So we should be more competitive.
I'm always a proponent that you have to earn the jersey, but there's some kids on this roster here tonight and what you have who aren't far away from earning a jersey. Let's talk a little bit about Morgan Riley.
Yeah, Morgan, he came very prepared to make this team. He's a very humble young man. You listen to him talk after yesterday's scrimmage, and I thought he had an excellent scrimmage, and he's, in his mind, he goes, I'm not there yet. I need to get even better. But you look at what he can do offensively. He moves the puck tremendously well and hard. He can skate the puck out of trouble. He is definitely going to be here for a while. I don't think that he's a guy that will be shipped out early. He's going to push us right to the very end to make a decision.
Frederick Gauthier was your first pick. He's a big, lanky kid that obviously needs a little bit of growth, but what have you seen in his first training camp?
You know what? His foot speed's improved from prospect camp. You know, he's worked with Barb a little bit. His foot speed's definitely improved. The working with the Canadian team definitely helped him as well. Defensively, he's in the right spot every time. What he has to work on is his offense. He has more offense to give. He's always been the kid that was always defensively responsible. He scored 22 last year. We think he can put some more in the net, but that's part of his game he's going to have to work on.
Got a young man from Sweden who's come over and is pushing as well. Tell us a little bit about him.
Yeah, Petter Granberg he's had an up and down camp so far. His first couple days with the main camp, I thought he struggled. In the scrimmage, he did very well. You know, he played with some good players. The one thing you can't overlook is the size of the ice sheet. And you could tell the first couple of days he was bumping into the boards. The smaller sheet was a little bit different for him. I thought, again, yesterday's scrimmage, he was excellent. And, you know, he's put himself in a position to get some games here in the preseason. More than likely he'll spend some time with the American League. But, you know, at some point, I wouldn't be shocked if he's playing for us this year at some point.
Steven Spott's Marley team is going to be a young group. Andrew McWilliams may be a situation in there as well, although he's played very well here tonight.
He has. Defensively responsible. You're not going to get a lot of offense out of Andrew, but very tough to play against. One of the things you mentioned early in this interview was making it a tough place to play. And Andrew, he plays a very tough brand of hockey. He's a nasty kid to play against. He's a good leader. He was a captain of his team last year in North Dakota. You know, again, I wouldn't rule out him making it here a lot quicker than people thought. Will he spend some time with the Marlies? Likely, but I know Randy's been very happy with what he's seen so far.
All right, I would be remiss if we didn't ask about what the situation with Cody Franson is. Has it changed at all?
At this point, there's been no change.
And as far as people like Clarkson and Bolin, you take a look at the leadership group, what's in that dressing room. These two are going to add a great deal to it, aren't they?
They are. They're different personalities. You know, David Bolin, I don't think says a lot, but he does a lot. You know, whenever you need a good shift or whenever you need some effort in practice, you see what he does. I thought he would actually come into camp and kind of ease into it, given the fact he had a really short summer winning the cup. But that hasn't been the case. He's had an excellent camp. And Dave Clarkson, I think, I don't think it matters if it's practice or game. He plays the same way. I mean, our players have noticed quickly that if you're going to go in the corner with them, there's no nice days, so it's been good for us.
You got to watch those Mimico guys. That Shanahan character was pretty tough from there too, you know.
Yeah, he turned out all right.
David, we thank you. Good luck in the preseason, and of course, good luck this regular season as well.
Great, thanks very much.
Dave Nonis, and speaking of Brendan Shanahan, a much younger Brendan Shanahan on display here at the Budweiser Gardens. The Leafs lead 4-3.
Hi, it's John Abbott out in Etobicoke, and as you can see, Purelator, a big part of today's festivities, proud partner of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and today they team up along with Colton Orr and Jay McClement to surprise Robert, whose family's had seasons tickets for 54 years. They were on hand to deliver him his tickets, the very first to get them for the 2013-2014 season. Leafs TV was there to check it out. How thrilled are you to have a Maple Leaf riding in your truck?
I'm actually very excited to take, I guess, Jim McClellan with me. It's an opportunity. It's first time for me, so it's good to meet the guy.
How you doing? Hi, Jay. Hi. Hey. Nice to meet you. Bob, nice to meet you. We got a little delivery for you. Get you guys to open that one. First ones to get them, I think. Yeah.
Did you expect this kind of delivery of those seats?
Not at all. Not at all. Complete surprise.
You have Colton Orr and Jay McClement at your front door now. Did you have a hand in getting them there?
No, I got a call from someone at Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment and said, can you arrange to have them there? I said, I can do that. Don't worry about it. I'll do my part. We'll see you Friday.
So I don't think they're surprised. I know they had the trick into being here, so I don't think he's expecting it, and he looked very surprised.
They had a good backstory to make sure they were here, and it all worked out, so hopefully it was a nice surprise for them.
It's pretty amazing. They're just telling us about, I think, 1936 and watching hockey since then. It's pretty amazing, and
just talking with them, it was a lot of fun.
I don't think you can get a better service. This is fantastic. Just look at the reaction by my staff here. We're all Leaf fans here, so this is amazing. And we got the big guy right here. Well, we have one red sheet sitting in my son's bedroom who pulls it out every time there's a hockey game on. So I still got Maple Leaf Gardens at home in my house. And there's not a Leaf game that's not being missed. This is what it's all about. I mean, getting the fans involved, getting them to meet a player. Most of these people would never meet a hockey player in their life. Nothing could be better than this. What a way to start a weekend.
Did you ever dream that the Leafs would show up at the house?
No.
1 week from tonight, the Maple Leafs are back on Leafs TV. They'll entertain the Buffalo Sabres at the Air Canada Centre, and we'll welcome back to our broadcast Hall of Famer Harry Neal as he'll join us for that broadcast and all home games on Leafs TV this season. We're looking forward to that. Plenty of success in this building and perhaps another Memorial Cup in the spring of 2014. The Leafs up by 1 after 2 in London.
Welcome back to the Budweiser Gardens, where the Maple Leafs have a 4-3 lead over the Philadelphia Flyers. A look at the second period scoring summary. And then Paul Ranger with the go-ahead goal for the Maple Leafs from Brolin Levo. And there's Paul Ranger as it is chipped down in over the line. Kadri trying to get through. Looks for a man in front, and the backhand shot went off a leg and went wide, and out come the Flyers with Hartnell getting it in on the right side. Matt Reed tips it, a centering pass, and went right by Hartnell, and Kadri is back the other way for Toronto. Chased hard and taken into the corner, and a bit of a hook, and a penalty's going to come right there.
Kadri, I just noticed he's got the A on tonight, and that's a bit of a significant play by Randy Carlyle. Of course, he's coming back to his hometown, number one, but also showing the kid that he's got a little confidence in his leadership abilities. And there is the hooking play there as Reed hooks on a little bit too long on Kadri, and when you've got that speed and skill, often you draw penalties, just like there.
Lauritsen took a 10-minute misconduct penalty for saying something at the end of the period. And so the Leafs to their second power play opportunity of the game. Knocked down by Ranger. Mason Raymond into the corner. Abbott's in front of the net, but the pass intended for him by David Boll was blocked. Boll gets it, or at least Bolin gets it back into the corner. And around into the near corner, it comes on the near side. Holmstrom trying to get it out, but can't. Morgan Riley back to Ranger, and now back to Riley. Riley onto the near side for Spencer Abbott. Down into the corner for David Bolin. Back to the point, Riley. Ranger, a shot deflected just wide of the net. Good effort in front of the goal to get there by Abbott to redirect, but didn't get enough of it. Riley knocks that clearing attempt down, but this one is going to be sent down the ice by the Flyers' Rob Bordson.
You know, throughout this game, it's been really hard not to notice Paul Ranger on this ice. The plays that he has made, that was another play there where he shot with a tip, it almost worked. He's jumped into the play to get a goal. He's been solid defensively. You have to be impressed with his game tonight.
Lyles shields the puck from Scott Lawton. The puck along the boards is backhanded down into the corner. Round back of the net. Blacker turning. And he'll start out. Kadri swings for him on the near side, and there's the pass to the former London junior. Brohl sends it back into him. Kadri fakes the drive to the net, took it around back of the goal, but Braden Shen is there to get it out. Loose back in their own zone. David Brohl up on the wing. Lyles couldn't help out. Kadri is turned it back to Lyles, and now just 13 seconds left in the power play. Blacker with Raymond, chips it in, and he's going to go in there after. Jesse Blacker pushing it to an open wing. Penalty box door about to open, and Reed steps back onto the ice as it is shot down into the Toronto zone. These two teams will meet again tomorrow night to complete the, if you will, home and home affair, as this is a Flyer home game in London. Back to the point, McWilliams' shot is blocked. Far side, kept alive by Holzer, back of the goal and into the near corner. Raymond banks it back to the point, and it bounced over McWilliams' stick. The goaltender Gibson is going to come out and settle it down and play it ahead himself. Unable to handle it was Tyler Biggs. Here the Flyers back in over the line. A nice pass by McGinn in front. And the direction there as the backhand just was spanned on, coming across the middle by Nick Cousins. Sharp angle shot, steered away. Puck is still there, and it is gingerly brought forward there by Turbinian Holzer to be able to give his goaltender a chance to freeze it.
Yeah, steady game so far as well for Gibson at the end. He hasn't let many rebounds out, and David Bolin was an absolute legend here when he played for the London Knights, and look at his stats. I wonder why.
2005 Memorial Cup champion David Bolin. There's a banner hanging in honor of that team. Ranger will bank it out at center. Unable to get to it was Troy Bodie, and now it's back into the corner, and it's the elongated Hal Gill. Shen getting it ahead, gets it handed back to him, and now he'll flip it down into the Toronto zone. On back of the net and fed up on the left wing side. Devone gets it ahead. Rangers stepping in. Bodie going to the front of the net, but the pass was out of the reach of both. And then the barn door was opened, and the cattle almost got rustled right there. Rob Bortson just did get his head up in time. Near side for Clarkson. He gives the puck away. Here's Rupert in on the left wing line. Rupert with a shot, and that went off the blocking arm of Stollers. Back come the Flyers, and they'll roll it down into the Toronto zone. Centering pass, and a quick shot went wide of the net off the stick of Matt Reed. Far side for Nicholas Grossman. A shot knocked down in front by Gibson. Flyers pressing here. Back it goes to Grossman again. Nicholas Grossman with a shot that flutters wide. Puck at the side of the net. Chipped around on the boards. And trying to get to it there is Rupert, and he does. He'll carry it out. Has it go off a leg into the zone. Boland heading to the bench, along with his line mate Spencer Abbott. Flyers looking for the equalizer. A pass on the far side for Reed. He is taken out of the play by Nazem Kadri. Kadri tips it to the line, but it won't escape. Flyers still with it. At the point, a shot, pad save, a big rebound. Rebound chance now, and Lords or Gustafson with a shot right on, and it is into the glove of Gibson, and he's going to hold on. He's been pretty steady.
Well, that's the word I was going to use, Joe, and that's when he's playing his game. He doesn't overmove. He's very complete in the net. And as I mentioned before he came in, I was looking forward to seeing him because he had a very good junior career, a high pick, and a bit of an off year last year. The LA Kings gave up on him, didn't sign him, and the Leafs swooped right in and signed him. And this may be a quiet signing that you see a few years from now. It was a real good one.
Down into the Flyer zone it goes. Icing waved off. And it is brought out now by Lawton with a pass that was knocked down by Corbinian Holzer and sent back in over the line. There'll be a lot of changes to the lineups for both teams tomorrow night. Although I doubt we would see Phil Kessel play. He has been on leave with the unfortunate passing of his grandparent, and so Phil Kessel has been attending the funeral but is back with the team and practicing, but he's probably going to need another couple of days anyway.
And Joffrey Lupul did not skate again, so he's still nursing the back injury, which is, I'm sure they're being overly careful with at this point in training camp.
Colton Orr suffered a bone bruise. So the Leafs have got a couple of injuries in the infirmary. Nothing that appears to be long-term as it's played out into the center ice area. Grossman sent by Schenn up on the left wing, and the pass knocked away by Morgan Riley, and back out at center ice. Luke Schenn, who led the Flyers in hits a year ago and lived up to expectations after being acquired. James Van Riemsdyk did likewise in Toronto. Team or trade that helped both teams. Big hit there by Paul Ranger. Here's Devone. The pass was out of the reach for Riley, and it's played out at center ice. Brad Holmstrom is across the line. Knocked into the corner then by Mazaros, and the Leafs go back to recover the puck. McWilliam. Near side, Riley, a pass into the slot, brought out by Devone up on the right side. Here's a chance now for Bolin to look the man in front. Abbott couldn't get to it, and a penalty coming here. And so the Leafs will go to the power play for the third time in the game. You're watching Molson Canadian Leafs hockey here on Leafs TV.
Well, this was an easy call for the official as Mazaros. I don't know what he was thinking, but he was in a bit of difficulty here to knowing what to do with the puck, so he just took it, grabbed it, threw it to the corner, and the official right there to make the call.
I think if he had just thrown it in front of himself, it's fine, but when you throw it behind your back, there's the hit on the Ranger had on Holmstrom.
And he's paired with Riley, and both of them have been excellent tonight on this particular power play coming up.
Kadri taking the draw. Levo unable to get to it. Hustling into the corner is David Kroll. And the puck comes back to the blue line. Riley is able to get to it first. Sent back in along back of the net. Kroll unable to get to it, but Matt Reed has difficulty with it. And the Leafs forecheck continues to give the Flyer defense some problems here. Levo back to the point. Riley keeping it again. Good puck pursuit by Toronto. Ranger couldn't bat it back in, but he gets a break as Riley was able to cover up for him. Levo turns back in his own zone.
Players with high hockey intelligence always have that little extra patience with the puck before making a play.
Pass to Levo and a shot right on, and a good save made by Stollers.
And Riley has it. He sees the ice extremely well, and he waits until there's an opening and then makes the pass and never seems to panic with the puck.
At the point, Rangers drive his glove by Stollers and held for a face-off. The Leaf captain, Dion Phaneuf, played with him in the scrimmage yesterday. He had a lot of glowing things to say about him, especially about how he passes the puck. With authority, crispness, gets it to you and gets you out of trouble.
And you don't always see that coming out of junior from a hockey player, and there's Rangers been a force all game long. That puck redirected a little bit. A nice save there.
Change in the power play for Toronto. David Bolin wins the draw, and a whistling shot went just wide of the net by John Michael Lyles. Raymond back to the blue line to Blacker. Back into the near side for Spencer Abbott. Couldn't get it in, and then the high shot. And all of 6 feet 6 inches was required there from Anthony Stollers to glove that and make sure it didn't go over top of him and into the net.
And Stollers, he gives the London Knights this kind of goaltending this year. How many wins in a row are they going to get with that club? They went on quite a roll last year.
29-0 at 2-0. This was a couple of years ago, but 04-05, they set the record here for most consecutive games without a loss. At the point, the shot by Lyles is kicked away by Stollers. Into the corner, digging it out. Abbott, a pass in front for Lyles, couldn't get the shot. Blacker for David Bolin. Down low it goes. Corral there by Abbott. Spencer Abbott back to Blacker to Lyles again. Blacker, Abbott, Boland at the side of the net. The wraparound attempt doesn't work. Now he couldn't scoop it in front and lost his edge as he went after the puck. Blacker pinches down to try and keep the puck in. And then he gets Raymond to back him up. Raymond along the wall, Abbott down low again. David Boland to Abbott once more. Raymond going to the front of the net. The shot is right on. There's a volleyball's attempt to play it out, and it does clear the zone. Nicholas Grossman did a nice job of spiking that, although it was set up perfectly for him. Brought out by Shen. He has it turned over. Colburn was lifted off his skates, but no call there. And we're halfway through the third period with a one-goal lead. Whoa! A hit there by Rupert, who ran over Nick Cousins. Puck is down into the corner. Joe Colburn sends it back to the blue line. Over it comes to McWilliam. Down into the corner again. And an errant pass there is brought out. Biggs couldn't handle it.
And there's some junior history there between Rupert and Cousins in the Sioux Greyhounds and the London Knights last year.
At the point, one shot goes wide of the net. Cousins and Brandon Alderson were teammates in the Sioux. So yeah, they would know each other. A lot of the OHL guys are here.
And Brandon Alderson was not going to get signed by the Philadelphia Flyers. And it wasn't until Sheldon Keefe got to Sault Ste. Marie and completely turned his year around, and he had such a strong second half they signed him.
Here's a chance of juggling. Puck is smothered by Christopher Gibson. Cousins in there, Hartnell as well. A little bit of pushing and shoving. Leafs TV proud to present Molson Canadian Leaf Hockey between the Flyers and Leafs from London, Ontario tonight.
Well, Mason, who went 3 in this game, and was okay throughout it, but the Philadelphia Flyers have sure had a revolving door in the net position. And they are desperately looking for a starter to take the ball and run with it a little bit, get some steady goaltending, and of course, they maybe wish they could use this guy still. It's Ron Hextall in the stands, and he may have been the best guy of late in the Philadelphia Flyer net. Conn Smythe winner in '87 when they lost the final, which doesn't happen very often. I think it's
Bernie Perron won the Vezina and Most Valuable Player Award when the Flyers won back-to-back cups. 12 goaltenders. That has been a revolving door. Around back of the goal, unable to dig it out, to bring it out in front was Jamie Devone, and it's back into the corner again. Devone down the boards, and it's pushed around back of the net. Flyers will start out as they backhand it high into the center ice area and shot right back into the Philadelphia end. Cody into the corner with a hit on Shen. A puck comes free, and the Flyers break through center ice to the line and in on the right wing side, trying to drive the net. Bordson, and the shot is handled on the angle by Christopher Gibson and held.
Tonight's Leafs TV broadcast from London, Ontario is brought to you by Molson Canadian, diehard fan and proud partner of the Leafs.
The draw will be to the left of young Christopher Gibson, who, if he had some nerves going into it, they have evaporated. He's played very well. Remember a few years ago in this very same building, a young man by the name of James Reimer arrived on the scene against the Flyers, again in an exhibition game. They had a long bout of penalty shots at the end of the game in the shootout, and he was outstanding. So young Mr. Gibson trying to follow suit here. There's James Reimer, who played the first half of the game. And we expect that we will see Mr. Bernier tomorrow night.
For half a game, I would think.
I would think that would be accurate as well. And across the line, Hartnell is knocked over. The puck comes back out into the center ice area. Now Hartnell sends it in on a delay, and Kadri is there to Lyles. Back to Nazem Kadri. Kadri comes to the red line, Eludes a hit from Hartnell, but gets it into the zone. Josh Lebo is down there by himself as the Leafs are changing. The Flyers bank it out at center and send it rink wide on the near side for Scott Lawton, who sends it down into the Toronto zone. Round back of the net it goes. Grabbed off there by Toronto and brought quickly to center ice. Boland across the line. Rupert back in for Boland, and he couldn't get his stick on it because it was being lifted by Hal Gill. Clarkson sends it down into the Toronto end. And I would think we would see the older Clarkson tomorrow night as well. Stollers plays it into the near corner. Under 7 minutes to play, and the Leafs nursing a 1-goal lead. Borgson into the corner. Drops it back, centering pass, broken up. Out comes Joe Colburn with it at center ice. 6'5" centerman trying to flip it through, but couldn't get around the defenseman as Clarkson gets it back out again. And it is backhanded in over the line. And is settling it down. There's Morgan Riley, and a quick up for Mason Raymond, who chips it down into the Flyer zone. Shen, a couple of 22s working at it. We're not talking about rifles here. As it's up on the left wing side, and a bouncing puck was into the corner. Oh, an errant pass off his stick was going to come all the way back down into the Flyer end.
Still don't know how many veterans we'll see tomorrow night, although it is a home game, Joe. There'll be, as you mentioned, probably one more game for a lot of these kids to get a chance to play at this level before they either get reassigned or sent to the American Hockey League team.
Hit there in the corner, comes to the side of the goal, and it is played up on the wing there by Frederick Gauthier, and the Maple Leafs get it out at center ice. Gauthier wearing sweater number 24. And back down into the corner it goes, and the Maple Leafs get it up on the wing for Devon, who drops it back. Our 54, Gauthier, and now it's onto the far side and in over the line and played back out into the center ice area. Leafs in across the line. Devon heading for the front of the net, but the shot is taken on the chest by Anthony Stollers and is going to hold on. 5:21 to play in the third period, and the Leafs up by 1 in London. Years ago, as we speculated a little while ago, this is what went on with James Reimer.
And he put on quite a show, didn't he, in this building? And I got the idea then that maybe the Leafs had something. And then in the shootout, seals the victory. And look at the big smile, as we've seen that often after a Leaf win.
He's done everything he's been asked to, and when he's been healthy, that has been the key. And of course, the collision in Montreal that precipitated the concussion situation with Brian Gianna was a key factor in the season that he was not healthy enough to perform and didn't have the numbers. But last year, he did everything that was asked of him. At the beginning, Randy Carlyle said the best goaltender is going to play. Ben Scrivens had played in the American Hockey League for half a year. And so Ben Scrivens played the first couple of games. But then it was James Reimer.
Didn't last long.
Once he got into the net, he wasn't going to give it up. So now the competition is with Bernier. And I'm sure that there will be some healthy competition between the two. But the most important position on the team, if two guys are battling real hard and want to hang on to the net, you're getting nothing but good results.
Oh, exactly. And it's really not an issue, in my opinion. In fact, it's a real plus for the team and the organization.
And the two young men have to handle it that way. That's when it becomes an issue.
It becomes an issue if you don't have team players in that position. And I can tell you, both these gentlemen are strong team players.
Well, the Leafs had a similar situation with two young goaltenders in Reagan and Bester. That situation didn't work out. There's Shen dropping it back now, and Cousins trying to step into one, and it's blocked. 2-on-2 rush going the other way with the speedy Mason Raymond carrying it in over the line. He's going to stop. Works back into the corner, trying to elude Gustafsson. Back to the point, it goes to McWilliam, and a long wrist shot is off the mark wide. Don't think Stollers saw that till he heard it. Back down into the corner. Joe Colburn working the end boards, battling in there along with Nick Cousins. Colburn dishes it off. Raymond into the slot. Wrist shot coming by Biggs, and it went off his shin pad and went wide. Colburn trying to send it back in. Biggs on the far side. Sends it around back of the net for Raymond. Raymond cycling the puck again. Colburn, you could hear him yelling, yep, I'm here. Centering pass, and Raymond just failed to deflect. McWilliam back into Raymond. Good shift here by this line. They've cycled the puck well and had puck control and get a chance there from Raymond. Rebound goes wide, and Shen, in need of a change, will skate it out and allow his forwards to get to the bench. He'll get to the red line and now shoot it in. 2:42 remaining in the third period. Bodie couldn't get it out the first time, does the second. That has been the only major we've had. We've had the Clarkson and Brohl fight. Might have thought that there might be a little more in that department tonight, but it didn't materialize. 2:27 to go in the third.
A few tough guys filtered throughout this lineup, but they usually get that over with early in these games. That'll be the end of it. Now in a close hockey game, it's not going to happen.
So the draw to the left of Christopher Gibson. A draw is scrummed. The puck goes to the far side. Keep an eye on Anthony Stollers to see when Peter Laviolette decides he might bring him out. Here's a chance in front of the goal, and unable to get the shot away was Hartnell. Kadri got it to center. Levo gets it the rest of the way. Hartnell took a healthy run at him. Up on the right side, Reed had it intercepted, and Levo sends it in a little deeper. Under 2 minutes to play now in the third period. Ranger steps into his man, and it is the young Morgan Riley with the puck in his own zone. To Paul Ranger. Ranger gains the red line, and in it goes. Leafs will change again. On the near side, Rupert for David Boland. Back to the blue line. Korbinian Holzer shot blocked. Rebound. Shoveled to the net, but handled by Stollers and smothered on a nice little play by Spencer Abbott to come up with that loose puck just a couple of feet in front of the Flyer net.
Both goalies have been excellent here since coming in. The youngsters have played well. And Hartnell, who, as we mentioned earlier, the Flyers need more from him, has a chance there and just can't find the handle.
His best season was 11-12 when he had 37 goals, 67 points, and 232 shots. But it slipped off last year. And injuries and various things. Abbott along the boards. 117. Stollers is inching out of the goal, but he'll be forced back in behind the net now. Hal Gill to the puck. Lays it around back of the net. Gustafson bringing it out slowly. Looks on the wing, and Stollers will head to the bench, and 6 attackers are on now for Philadelphia. Cleared around on the boards by Gibson. Puck down in the Toronto zone. Around back of the net and into the near corner. Gustafson at the point, a shot deflects wide of the goal. Shen back of the net. Defending a 1-goal lead. The last time the Leafs had jerseys on, a 1-goal lead was there. And icing waved off. Cousins goes back. Left wing side. Reed plays it around back of the net. Hartnell dug it out. Cousins trying to come out of the corner with Hartnell in front and trying to get a shot away in tight that comes in front of the goal again. They bang away at it. It's still free and cleared into the corner. Backhanded to the line and out. 7 seconds. And an icing with 4.5 seconds to go.
Who will Randy Carlyle put out for the faceoff? This will be interesting. He's going to call a timeout and make sure things are organized. And I would suggest it's going to be David Boland. That's why I threw it out there, Joel. But we'll see. Maybe he'll try out Kidd. Yeah. Sometimes in these situations, he does that.
You're finding out what kids can do and some other people can do as well, but to scramble around the net.
And I like the way, if you look at Gibson here, throughout that entire time, he found the puck. He wasn't searching for it. He was in good position in case there was a chance in front of him.
How much is going to be made, and has already been talked about, the effect of the meltdown in Game 7. Does that affect the team?
I think by now they've moved on. The next challenge will be if something like that comes up in a playoff situation, which the Leafs will take. But for the regular season now, it's game on. They're moved on, in my opinion anyway. I mean, they'll never forget it. But it's something that you make a positive. You don't make a negative. You turn that into a positive by learning from it. And that's, I'm sure, the message that Randy Carlyle will bring to his group. Or you just forget about it and move on, not even bring it up.
You're wrong. Kadri's taking the draw.
Yeah, I thought. Well, I wondered if they do that.
Well, it was an icing, so he had to stay on.
Well, there you go. And he won the draw.
Won the draw, but it's not out. The pass gets in front of the goal as the horn goes. So Nazem Kadri won the draw, but there was still one more effort from the Flyers. But the final chance did not result in a shot. The Maple Leafs will hold on to win a 4-3 hockey game.
Some positives tonight for sure for the Maple Leafs. Gibson, the way he played. You got to like the way Kadri played. Paul Ranger was absolutely tremendous in this game. Some of the youngsters that stood out certainly did a real nice job. Gibson being one of them, as I mentioned. And, of course, Morgan Riley was very good in this game also. And you could go down the list even farther if we had a little more time.
1 of 8 in the books. And the delivery of the game is presented by Purolator. Excitement delivered, check. And it's the winning goal in the second period, Paul Ranger.
He joined the attack, made it into a 3-on-2, and he was strong defensively and excellent offensively as well in this game.
And it came just seconds after Anthony Stolarz had come into the game. And so the Maple Leafs win this one by a 4-3 count. These two teams will meet again tomorrow night at the Air Canada Centre. The Leafs get goals from Kadri, Bodie, Raymond, and Ranger.
High jump.
Maple Leafs hold on for a 4-3 win. We take a look at the 3 stars brought to you by Molson Canadian. Die-hard fan and proud partner of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Paul Ranger, Morgan Riley, Nazem Kadri.
Yeah, and all three we talked about a lot throughout the broadcast. And Kadri in his hometown, we gave him first star, but I think Paul Ranger would be, in my opinion, the first star of the game based on the way he played throughout the 60 minutes.
You know, we talked when we were doing American Hockey League games at this point last year.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God that's not
that
happening
seems like a
anymore.
long time ago.
But having said that, we commented about Rangers' play then. And the situation wasn't there yet that he was eligible or was able to come up and play last year. But there was no question that he is an X factor this year and something that the Leafs can look at as an insurance policy because he has 270 NHL games. He was a mainstay on that defense with the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I think, and as you mentioned, he may be a top 4 guy.
Yeah, I'm going to bring up a well-respected hockey man in the business, and most people will tell you that, and that's Craig Ramsey, who's been an assistant coach and a head coach and been through the ranks in all different capacities. And he had him in Tampa Bay, and I know that he thought a lot of Paul Ranger, always said what a terrific player he was, and talked so highly of him. And I remember that when Paul was a young player. And so to me, as you mentioned, if he can come in now with this confidence and play the way we know he can, he's going to be a factor on this team. And maybe at some point, and you don't want to throw this at him yet, but maybe a top 4 before this is over. That gives the Leafs all kinds of room to do some things if they need to do some things to upgrade if they do have a little more depth. Most hockey people will tell you, though, however, you can never have enough blue liners.
Andrew McWilliams played well today, and,
yes.
and Dave Nonis was saying that he was very impressed with him. Mark Fraser, of course, is in the mix. There's a lot of depth maybe surfacing as far as the Maple Leafs defense corps is. And that then you take into the Franson equation, and all of a sudden there's a lot of things to be thought about.
Well, what's nice for the management now in the Toronto Maple Leafs, and Joe, you've been here an awful long time, and even since my stay here, is now they have some pieces where they can make trades or at least have some depth if there's injuries. And they've done a very good job of drafting. They've done a very good job of waiting for players. As we look at 3 players, TJ Brennan, we watched him play for Rochester last year with that great big shot.
And was a point-a-game player.
And he can fire the puck. I mean, whether he'll be in the National Hockey League, probably not, but he's another depth player that the Leafs are able to acquire, which will help the Marley situation also. I don't want to rule him out yet, but again, he's got a big-time shot on the power play. So there's all kinds of little things that Dave Nonis and his group has done to tweak here, to tweak there, very subtle changes that may come up came up pretty big before this is over.
Morgan Rielly played a little bit at the end of the season in the American Hockey League with the Marlies. Highly touted, obviously top a first-round pick that the only reason he wasn't higher in the draft was because of injury, but he plays his first game as far as the Leafs are concerned here. What did he look like tonight? What was your impression?
Well, I loved his game. He's got great patience. He sees the ice extremely well. He's intelligent, makes a good first pass. The question is for all young defensemen, it's September. And what happens in March or what happens in February or January when the league, as you know, Joe, is completely different in the second half than it is, in early exhibition games. Does he have tremendous talent? The answer is yes. Does he have the tools to play in the National Hockey League? I would say at some point, yes. Is he ready, or do you send him back to junior, let him rip it up, play for Canada's team, and go that route? Those are the decisions that are going to have to be made at the management level, which are difficult ones. And quite frankly, there's a couple of variables now. There's cap, which didn't used to be a variable. And there's also, as you mentioned, Joe, the variable that there's a lot of depth on this blue line, so you may be able to not rush players the way you had to do it when you didn't have a lot of players available. So that's another nice feature that the Leafs have with all this veteran presence on the blue line at the moment.
We're waiting for Randy Carlyle to come out of the dressing room and have his press conference after this first exhibition game. How do you think? Randy always takes this with a big-time grain of salt no matter what's going on. He's not going to come out and be flowery about anybody, I'm sure. But he had to be pleased with what he saw in some people.
Oh, yeah, and I think we'll hear that from Randy. I mean, he's fairly positive when it comes to those things, Joe. But you're right. I mean, Randy's been around so long. All of us know that are in the game that you kind of close your eyes the first week often with the veteran players, even though in today's world they're in great shape. They've skated in the summer. It's different. But the games really don't start until the last couple of exhibition games when veterans start to get that little bug in their ear that, okay, it's time to give it another notch or another level. And often in training camp, the last week or so is when you see those players that just look so good early, all of a sudden just fall off the cliff. And the reason is because the big boys show up to play. There's more of them in the lineup at that point, and it tends to separate players that are ready and players that aren't quite ready yet, or players that are never going to be ready. So we'll see more of that throughout training camp. You get a kick out of the articles. I mean, the reporters have to put things in the newspaper, so they've got to write all these stories about predictions and who's looked good so far. I mean, I don't even care, because right now it's not the time where you really start to see the team. It's like about a week or two from now when things really change.
Mason Raymond is trying to impress people. He's here on a tryout basis, scored in the scrimmage yesterday, and scored a beautiful goal today on a shorthanded rush, which demonstrated what everybody knows is advertised about him, his foot speed.
Yeah, great speed, good role player, and I think he'll be on this team. Dave knows this player to begin with. He knows his character, he knows what he can bring, he knows his history of the injuries that he's had of late. So it's pretty nice to bring in a player that you know as a manager, you know what he can bring, and you know where he can fit in the big picture. So that will be interesting. Now, again, we've got to go back to cap issues and all the little things that you have to put together now in this cap world. But he's a nice player to show up all of a sudden and pay nothing for. And I'd be very surprised if we don't see him, right to the end of training camp. A decision will be made at that point, but I think that if I was a betting man right now, I would say that it's very favorable that he might be one player that's here.
One of the big three acquisitions in the offseason saw duty tonight in David Bolland. We expect, although we don't know, that David Clarkson, along with Jonathan Bernier, would play tomorrow against the Flyers at the Air Canada Centre. Lots have been written about the job that Dave Nonis did in acquiring these three players. I'd like to get your impression on how Mr. Nonis did.
Oh, I really like what he did this summer, because he was very methodical, and that's what we've seen from Dave Nonis so far. There's no bells and whistles surrounding him. He just goes out and does his job, knows what he wants to do, and then tries to execute a plan. Bernier will upgrade the goal position. Not that there's anything wrong with Reimer. We saw another good, strong performance from him tonight. But you need that depth in net. If somebody gets hurt, whatever. Bolland, we know what he's going to bring to the table. And David Clarkson adds that little bit of sandpaper and competitive spirit that we've watched him play with ever since he started in the National Hockey League. And you know that, everybody says he's a Randy Carlyle type of player. Well, it's hogwash. He's an NHL coach type of player. Anybody in the league, and that's why he got paid the way he did, likes players like David Clarkson, because he shows up to play almost every game.
it's impossible to show up for 82 and be effective, but he tries. And so forget this Randy Carlyle, he's a Randy Carlyle type of player. He's a 30 coach type of player in the National Hockey League. I don't get that sometimes, and all teams would love to have him.
Well, they're calling him Wendell Clarkson because of his affinity to the former Leaf captain.
Poor guy, you don't want that on you.
Exactly, you don't want to have that attached to you. Nazem Kadri opened the scoring tonight, the former London junior, with a nice little toe drag move as the Leafs win this one 4-3. Well, Harry Neal is going to return to our broadcast booth to join yours truly and Greg Millen. That is a very young Harry. No, it's not. It's Phil Kessel on the screen. But that's our next game on Leafs TV. The Leafs and the Buffalo Sabres, September the 22nd at 7 o'clock start. And 3 in the booth, and that'll be a lot of fun as we bring the future Hall of Famer back to Toronto. And there he is. Look at him in all his glory with the Marlboros.
Yeah,
as he is playing to talk to him.
I got to tell you, I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
And I know you are too, Joe. It's going to be a real treat for us to have the Hall of Famer back in our broadcast.
He says he made Carl Brewer everything he is, that he was in the National Hockey League playing with the Marlies there.
We'll have to ask him that.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We're tap dancing a little bit up here because Randy Carlyle has had a little bit to say with his team in the dressing room, and we're just awaiting him to come out and address the press.
I think he forgot. Or maybe he's taking a preseason pass.
No, they're at Guelph. The bus is
exactly.
We're here for 5 hours till we figure out that they've blown the coop. But when you get a chance to address all of the players that they had, I know most coaches would prefer to have a smaller group to start with, get right into it, get these guys into shape, the players that you think you're going to have, work on systems, get things done. Management wants to give the young kids the opportunity, the taste. Find out what it's like. Find out what the preparation is that the professionals do so that you can take that back to wherever you're going, whether it's junior or even into the American Hockey League, on how you have to prepare. So it becomes a bit of a tug of war, I guess, between management and coaching staff, but it's understood.
Yeah, it is. But, in a venue like this particularly, you want to get the kids that, some of them played here. And you want to do your very best to reward them. And here comes Randy.
There he is.
He's not in Guelph.
No, here he is. Let's go down to Henny.
Randy, your veterans all scored goals here tonight. How did the kids fare in their first professional test for most, or for many of them at least?
I think overall you'd have to grade our team as average in tonight's game. I thought we tried to establish some of the staples of being a strong forechecking hockey club. And we did that early in the hockey game, and we kind of sat back in the second period and we turned the puck over. But again, it's the first exhibition game, and it's an opportunity for some kids to get their feet wet, and they did that in tonight's hockey game. And again, we're looking for people to separate themselves from the rest of the group, and some did positively and some did negatively.
When you're evaluating Riley, what kinds of things are you trying to see?
Riley who? I don't think you guys don't know any other players on our team.
No, well,
yeah, I answered 100 questions today about Morgan Riley.
But what kinds of things are you trying to judge when you're trying to look at his performance?
You beat a dead horse. Obviously, he skates. Can he continue to do what he's done in junior at the NHL? And I don't know how many more times or how plainer I can say that.
I got another guy.
You don't ask me this tomorrow because I'm going to tell you to do.
How about a guy like Mick Williams? Do you know a lot about him?
No, I know a little bit about him through Brad Berry. Brad Berry was an assistant coach, and I played with Brad Berry, and he was an assistant coach in North Dakota, and he ran the defense. So I do have a little bit of inside information on what he's about and where he's at and what kind of player he is, and and he's acquitted himself very well in his first pro game.
Did you think Ranger adapted well to his first NHL?
Again, I think it was, it's been a long time. It's a warm building, training camp, all those things, and I thought those defensemen particularly were very good.
The Raymond goal came as advertised, pretty much, his speed.
Yeah, he got a break, and puck hit his shin pad at the blue line, and obviously with the type of speed that he has, it's going to be hard for somebody to catch him, and they didn't catch him, and he found a way.
Did you like Chris Gibson coming into the game the way he did and holding your team in there to allow Ranger to score his goal, eventually get you guys the victory?
Yeah, again, you can't knock a goaltender when he doesn't give anything up. Mm-hmm. So he was pretty good, and it's good to see the young kids get the first taste, and that's the most important thing is they understand that, this wasn't an NHL game, but it was an exhibition game, and there's another level that the league plays to, and the mistakes that you make in the exhibition games could cost you in league games, and that's our message is, we'll take the win. It's better to win than to lose, but there's areas that concerned us. There's areas that we can improve on, and there's areas those young players have to learn that they can't make mistakes in certain areas of the ice.
Is it difficult for a veteran player like Kadri and Boland to play on a line with a couple of young guys? It's a challenge for them.
I don't think so. I think, again, that's part of training camp. That's what everybody does. That they're no different than anybody else. That they've got to come in and put their skates on and be at the right foot first or the left foot first. That's what they've got to go out and do, because that's what it's about. And they were in that position once. And that's the respect factor to younger players, and treat them how you'd like to be treated.
Putting the A on Kadri today, any special reason he's coming home, I guess, to London, or just?
Yeah, and again, we had Boland, we had John Michael Lyles, with Kadri, a London boy. He said he had 2 boxes full of people here tonight. So.
How much can you evaluate James in a situation like this, first preseason game? Or is it unfair?
I think it's unfair for your goalies. I think, again, he made some big stops, and the goals that they scored on him were rebounds, and the other one was the one that came off the backboard. So we were pretty lax in our coverage there. So he made the first stop. No puck beat him clean. All right.
Thank you, Randy.
Head coach Randy Carlyle, the Maple Leafs on Leafs TV tonight. They'll be on Sportsnet tomorrow night as they take on the Flyers in the curtain closer of this home-and-home set. And, of course, Thursday in Ottawa, they'll take on the Ottawa Senators on TSN. Maple Leafs lose tonight's game, or at least win it by a score of 4-3. Nazem Kadri, Troy Bodie, Mason Raymond, and Paul Ranger score the goals. Another victorious night for the Leafs over the Flyers yet again here in London as they get set in the first of 8 preseason games. Again, Game 2 against the Flyers tomorrow night before they head to Ottawa on Thursday. 4-3 our final score for the Maple Leafs from London. So long from London.